Do you see more and more, because there's a lot of capital out there looking for homes to place it. Do you see a lot more consolidation in 2022 in the industry? In the index annuity space?
On the insurance company side, I don't think so yet because everybody's posting record profits.
Got it.
But I will tell you this, those Bermuda companies and that Bermuda Triangle and all those offshores, a lot of those were all started by hedge fund guys, right?
Yep.
All Wall Street corporate raider hedge funds, and they like to buy everything 50 cents on the dollar.
Yep.
So they're waiting for this to trickle back a little bit, and then they'll come start swooping in, and you'll see more things pick up. In our industry, on the insurance side, yeah, I think you see a lot of consolidation, and I think marketing organizations will keep buying other marketing companies until you're going to condense this thing down into probably 5 or 6 super IMOs. Sorry, that was Stan and I lingo, independent marketing organizations.
Yeah, and for people, when agents contract with indexed annuity companies or annuity companies in general, there's typically a 2-step distribution. There's a middleman called a sales and marketing organization, independent marketing organization, however you want to call it, IMO, SMO, that do all the contracting, et cetera. Not everyone is as tech savvy and master of the annuity universe like the Annuity Man. There's a lot of one-man shows out there that sell, one-woman shows that sell annuities, and these marketing organizations kind of help them do their entire practice. I want to also ask you about we're seeing the buffer type annuities, the copay annuities, the RILAs, all that stuff. Anything new that you're hearing in your meetings on the index annuity side on what they're trying to do different? Because I have this feeling we're going to be blindsided by a new product type going forward.
I got nothing right now, but I tend to agree with you on this. I mean, look, we're 13 years and the note is horrible.
Yep.
So they're going to have to figure out something. And I think what you're going to really see more than anything is all of these companies go away from guarantees and like strip down the guarantee as much as they possibly can. Still keep an insurance product, mind you, which is, you get your principal safe. But they're going to probably strip away a lot of guarantees. And the reason why I say this, I think if you look at indexed annuities as a whole, Stan, the guarantee, if you look at the base guarantee, it's like what, 1.875% of
yeah. It's, let's just say 1% to be savvy.
Yeah, say 1% to be satisfied. So you have a 1% guarantee of what you put in, et cetera, et cetera. At some point, they have to reserve for that. The insurance company, if they give you X, they have to make sure X plus an extra nickel or so is there. I mean, they have to have that reserve. So if they say you got $1, they got to have $1.05 or something in reserve, right? I truly think you'll see all that get wiped away. And I think they will just go, look, your principal's here. And then that way they don't have to reserve. And then that way they can, well, let's just call it what it is. They make more profit.
Yes.
They give a little bit of it back in a higher rate, a higher this, more, don't ever, ever confuse features on an annuity with benefits. Never.
Very nicely put. By the way, just to echo what Mr. FIA-X said, arguably the largest issuer of indexed annuities just announced a month ago that they are going to lessen the guarantees and on their index products and all the products across the board. They're going to do exactly what Mr. FIA-X said, and they're the leader. So that's kind of the canary in the coal mine, because now other carriers, I think, will follow suit. And the ironic part about them announcing it, and we have no problem with that company, love that company, represent that company. They're big and massive and huge. But I really don't sell a lot of their stuff because why? Their guarantees aren't competitive. Their contractual guarantees aren't competitive. But I did think it was interesting that they came out publicly and said that. So I've always told people, don't buy hypotheticals, theoreticals, back-tested, hopeful agent return scenarios, unicorns chasing the butterflies, because it never comes true. And what this number one carrier said is, we're going to sell hypotheticals, theoreticals, projections, and unicorns chasing the butterflies. That's what's going to be our primary. And that's what the ironic part is, that they've kind of been doing that for the last 5 to 7 years anyway. I just think they finally came out because they're European owned and they have a base here in the United States. And they said, we're going to do that. I understand the business model. I'm like you. I get it. They want to make more money. It's a tough environment with the interest rates. But what people have to understand is be careful not to buy the back-tested number. It sounds too good to be true because it is.
Well,
do you see more and more of that in the industry? Firms coming off that?
About that. No, you just hit on something really good about the illustrations and all the pie in the sky and unicorns and all that good stuff. And the illustration. Never buy the illustration. And here's why. If you like the way that illustration looks, you're 10 years too late.
Bingo.
Because every day that you do that illustration, if I run that illustration one day later, totally different. And the next day, totally different. And the next day, totally different. And the next day, totally different. And you can move by a day or two and go from a huge return to nothing, just like that.
And in some states, it's illegal.
Correct.
They're starting to implement laws to say you cannot show back-tested numbers on life insurance products like Index Universal Life, where it's really juiced and there's some really bad sales practices going on, and on the index side as well.
Well, let's just do this, Stan. I'm going to ask, and for all the people listening, does the stock market or anything move in averages?
Good point.
No. Never. In the history of the market, it has never returned the same return 2 consecutive years.
Yep.
Never. Ever. Never, ever. So,
and never will. And never will, by the way.
It won't. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it will. I really don't.
No, it won't.
But I would take that bet. If I could get that bet, that's one I would take. But so my point being is this, is when you show averages, it's incredibly misleading.
Yes, it is.
Because it doesn't move that way. The market moves in peak and valley. And for our products, what would really be the greatest, and this won't make sense to people, is when you actually buy your product, you'd love for it to just crash. You want it to go all the way to the floor. Why? Because when you reset and you catch the spike, it goes all the way up.
Right.
And so in perfect theory, you'd want it to crash for 2 years or 3 years and then go up for 2 or 3 years and then crash for 2 or 3 years and go up for 2 or 3 years, because that's how you would maximize your return.
Right.
But, oh my gosh, if it crashed, people would freak out. But in reality, we have a horrible, horrible, horrible investment philosophy of people love to buy high and sell low. They love it. It's amazing.
The institutions love it because people are just providing liquidity to the big money. So that is what it is.
It's happening right
Mr.
now.
FIA-X, I try to imagine being you sometimes and being that smart about indexed annuities. And
it's a lot of responsibility, Stan. Thanks.
I'm just.
Hey, Stan the Annuity Man here. Did you like that little taste of my podcast, Fun with Annuities? Hey, if you want to see the full version, click the link and watch the whole darn thing. Remember, Fun with Annuities. Live in the reality, not the dream.